Greetings, guys, gals, non-binary pals, and welcome back to another video. Today, we are back on TikTok with a brand new person. As in, like, she's quite new to TikTok. Her name is Not Lib Takes. It's obviously not her name. That's her username. And I found her through The Right Stuff TikTok. They made a TikTok together. And I was like, all right, let's check her out. What does she do? And basically she posts a not lib take every day. And they're all absolutely just wild takes. She says some stuff that makes no sense. Or it's just like so outlandish and ridiculous. And I just wanted to talk about it because, like, what goes on? I just need to talk about it. We need to watch this, and we all need to sit here and be like, are these people okay? You know? The answer is no. But yeah, we're gonna do that today. But before we get into it, I would like to say a massive thank you to today's patron of the day, Sad Unicorn. I appreciate you and your support so much, so thank you so much for joining. If anyone else would like to become a patron, you go to patreon.com/savvycat. It starts at as little as £1 a month. And then for a little bit more, I am currently in the process of trying to finally make more music, and I will be posting updates and like snippets and things like that there about the process. So if you're interested in that and you want to help support me in that, because it is an expensive thing to do, then I would appreciate it and I would love to see you there. Yeah, anyway, let's get into these fun takes. This is the first TikTok of hers that I saw, and I genuinely was like, this has to be satire. There's no way this is real. This is satire. She says this like it's satire. Because I'm just in shock. Anyway, this is what it is.
I am in the liberal hellscape that is New York City. I lived here actually for most of my life, but moved 2 years ago to the free state of Florida. Every time I come back, my friends are like, oh my God, do you miss it? What's it like being back? Do I miss it? It is the middle of summer and everyone around me seems to be pale, unhappy, masked, and trans. Okay, I take that back. Not everyone is trans. Everyone's just kind of androgynous looking. A lot of purple hair. I feel like I'm observing a social experiment. And the men are all low-T soy betas. They all have pronouns in their bios. Plus the Mario Kart styled obstacle course of having to swerve around homeless people and jump over dirty needles on the street has just only gotten more complicated. Plus I reveal myself every time I get a latte here. Asking for cow milk feels like a crime. Plus half the time they don't even have it. I am in the belly of the beast, accepting all prayers.
Like, how is that not satire? Like, it's not even a little bit is it satire, because nothing on her account is satirical. She does TikToks with other conservative people. Like, this is being dead serious. Just everything about it is just like, what? What? Let's try to unpack this a little bit. One, how in God's name do you know that every man has pronouns in their bio? How do you know that? Are you looking at every single person you see's social media account to like check that? Probably not. I'm assuming not. Another one is talking about like the homeless crisis getting worse as like a putting it in there to like drag like leftists and liberals is kind of just absolutely batshit. Like that's so wild. Like complaining about homelessness because it inconveniences you rather than homelessness being just a real problem and like it's really bad that it's getting worse because capitalism is getting worse. You won't acknowledge that though. Obviously, this is leftists' fault somehow. And I'm sorry, but there's something so funny about being like half of the places don't even like have cow's milk. Like that's so funny because one, don't fucking lie. Don't lie. And two, like maybe just like don't go into like non-dairy places. Like I know how many Starbucks there are in that country, and I know they all offer cow's milk. Yeah, The entire time I spent in fucking LA, I came across 0 places that didn't sell cow's milk. And I'm not someone who consumes cow's milk. I would have loved to find a place that didn't sell cow's milk. But I didn't. I remember going to Disney for the first time a couple years back. This has changed since then. But like even in 2017, no one had anything other than cow's milk at the whole fucking place. It's wild. It reminds me of this one time Kat and I were at a vegan place in Australia. We were on Phillips Island in Cowes, and someone walked in and like asked for a coffee with milk, and they're like, oh, what type of milk do you want? And they're like, normal milk? And they're like, we don't have that. And it was a whole thing, and it's like, this place even says vegan everywhere. It says no dairy. It literally is written everywhere. And this guy's like, why the fuck don't you have my cow's milk? It's like, don't go into a vegan place if you don't want vegan food. Like, it's a really simple rule. And just saying all the men are like low T soy beta males, like there's no way you just said that for real. There's no fucking way you let those words form in your brain and come out of your mouth with a dead serious face and fucking mean that. Oh my god. This soy term is always amusing to me because it came from people, and it goes with the cow's milk thing too, being like, you can't have soy milk because it has estrogen in it, or it mimics estrogen. So when men drink soy milk, it actually makes them more feminine because it's putting estrogen in their bodies, which is fucking hilarious because it's not even true. Like soy does not have that effect. It's not real estrogen. It does not do that. But you know what does have estrogen in it? Like real, actual estrogen. Cow's milk. Cow's milk has estrogen in it because where does it fucking come from? Oh, it comes from a female cow who produces estrogen because it's literally a female fucking cow. Bro, anyway. So basically, you see the gist. You get what she's about. You can see the type of belief system she has and the type of shit she says, which is unhinged. It's so ridiculous. And like, how is it not satire? Right? So, now you know what we're getting into. Let's have a look at some other things that she likes to say.
Okay, so liberals are always saying women don't make as much as men. Why do none of my female Uber drivers ever help with the luggage? Women do not do the same work as men. Yeah, there are going to be instances everywhere of disparate treatment against all types of people. But I mean, come on. I am here on a work trip right now, and I just had this happen for like the 7th time. Where I see it's a female driver, and they just sit there. They don't even come and try to help and have both of you loaded in together, like women helping women. Women also rarely help other women, so it makes sense. Just trying to lug the suitcase in yourself. I have never had a male driver not get out to help me with the luggage. I've even had older gentlemen insist on loading the luggage and refusing to let me help even when I try to. So yeah, there's definitely a pay gap, but we can't talk about it. We all do that little dance where then we get into the Uber and act as if that was normal. Equal pay for equal work. Come at me. I'm ready.
How is this not satire? How does this woman genuinely sit here and say, yeah, it's fair that overall, in general, men do get paid more than women because my male Uber drivers help me with my luggage and female Uber drivers don't. So therefore, all men in every field should get paid more than women. Firstly, I want to know your number of female drivers to male drivers in Uber to like have a sample pool that like backs this up, because I've taken a lot of Ubers. Nowhere near as many as Americans probably, but I've taken a fair few Ubers in my time. And in general, in total, I've probably only ever had like 3 female drivers. I've had like 3 women be my drivers, and none of those times have I ever had luggage. And I've taken Ubers a lot when I have luggage. So I need to know how many times this has happened to you. How many Ubers have you taken with luggage? How many times have they been women versus how many times have they been men? Because I'm like kind of feeling like this has happened to you like 1 time. And you're like now making a whole fucking TikTok about it. Because one woman didn't get out of the car to help you. Like, then just don't tip them as much, you know? Like, if you want help with your luggage, then just like don't tip them as much. And also, I've had men not help me with my luggage before. I've had male Uber drivers not help with my luggage before. Or I've had multiple male drivers help me put luggage in and then not help me take it out. Like, all women should be paid less because this one woman didn't help me with my luggage one time. Are you okay? No. The answer is no. Equal pay for equal work. I mean, in this instance, you're the one deciding how much they get paid, right? Like, you can pay them more if you want to tip them more. Like, if there's a pay gap in Uber drivers because women don't help and men do, then okay, sure, fine, tip them more. That's fine. But in other fields, women are doing the same amount of work. Actually, on average, women are doing more work because they have to work harder to prove themselves. And this has been proven. Like, ma'am, you cannot use this example to represent the entire workforce of what is wrong with you. That's fucking hilarious. That's so funny. I can't believe this woman is real.
So of all the questions the Republican Party is asking in the polls, that everything gets completely overanalyzed and over-intellectualized, it's really going to come down to one question that no one is asking, and that is, who are you most likely to sleep with? I call it the fability test. Yeah, I know we all read 538, and yes, of course, the issues matter, but we need the women's vote. I mean, how useful are the polls? Last summer, we thought we were getting a big red wave, and when you think about what would happen if Trump dropped out, DeSantis versus Vivek, I just don't know that Vivek could actually get the women's vote in the end. Because he reminds me of the frat bro that thinks he's great, but does not realize that you're not having a good time. And he tells his friends like, oh yeah, I blew her mind. DeSantis, however, I think he would be silent but successful. Like, you would be surprised. And your friends would all low-key know, and they would see him around and be like, ooh, Daddy Santis. Nikki Haley, she definitely keeps a clean bikini line, but also gives you a lecture on why no one should get a Brazilian. And then if it's actually the octogenarian class, I just don't even want to think about that. But the theory holds true. It's just who you would mind less, which is just a concept that holds true for all of our elections these days. So all the money on all the polls, we really just need to be running an affability test.
This is wild. Firstly, never say Daddy Santis ever again. Secondly, being like, we need to have fuckable candidates because that's the only way that women will care and that women will vote. What the fuck? Firstly, okay, it is so fucked up that you're just standing here and like sexualizing all of them completely and like talking about like weird sexual fantasies almost and how you think they'd be in bed. That's odd, super weird. And also like, what? Implying that women vote for specifically who they think will be best in bed is like absolutely like, holy shit, do you view women that low? Is that how you vote? Because based off of how you speak, it seems as though you like care about politics quite a lot. But you're here like, yeah, but like women will only vote about who they want to have sex with. We care about who's hot. It's like, shut up, man. Shut up. Speak for your fucking self. Oh my God. How do you think so low of other women? Gross TikTok. Fucking weird TikTok. Don't bring sex into politics. Fuckability into politics. Don't do that. Don't do that.
So here's a non-lib take. When Elon took over Twitter, watching the left melt down from free speech being allowed on the platform, I enjoy it, but it's also really scary. Because what we continue to see is the left reinforcing this idea that we can only say what they find acceptable. We've all seen very popular conservative posts get taken down because they're already breaking community guidelines on Threads. The warnings they give about following people. The chutzpah never ceases to amaze me. This includes factual posts like cocaine being found in the White House. But this is just part of the slow boil of the frog. First, you can't post about it. So then you stop thinking about it. Meanwhile, those of us on Twitter are willing to have an open debate and don't take ourselves too seriously. I used to be so afraid to like conservative tweets. But now that Elon's involved, I'm like the Oprah of Twitter. I'm like, you get a like, and you get a like, and you get a like. You can find me on Twitter, not Threads, at nonlibteak.
Wild. It's wild. When Elon took over Twitter and people were mad about free speech, it's because the use of the N-word went up by like 500%. Like, people were just like, hell yeah, Elon Musk is in charge. Let me go fucking throw around a bunch of slurs. Like, hate speech went up. And again, we've gone over this time and time over. You can say whatever you want, sure, but that doesn't mean your words don't have consequences. Just like you can do whatever you want, but your actions are going to have consequences. Like, I could go out and fucking punch someone in the face. I have the freedom to do that. But if they punch me back, that's the consequence of my fucking action. If I go and like scream in someone's face and then they punch me for screaming in their face, like, yeah, I had the freedom to scream in their face and then I got punched for it. That's the consequence of my own action. Like, if you're gonna go and spew hate speech, there's gonna be consequences to it. Like, sure, it might get deleted, but you did technically already say it. You just can't have it be out there permanently because you're hurting people, you know? You can't just go out and fucking hurt people. And like being like, it doesn't fit with the left's agenda, so it gets removed. The left's agenda, for the most part, is literally just let people exist and be happy. That's it. That's the core of my belief system, is that I want everyone to be happy. That's it. I want everyone to be happy, be able to live comfortably, and to just be themselves and not give a shit about how other people live their lives. That's literally it. My core, my only belief, if you get to the center of it, is for everyone to be happy. That's it. That's my belief system. And you're here like, but you're like not letting me tell people that they should die. But you are like not letting me tell people that I hate them. Like, no, I don't want you to say that, because that's not letting people be happy. Like, you're hurting people. You're not allowed to fucking hurt people. Or if you do, there's consequences to that. And that can mean getting deplatformed. That can mean having your tweets deleted. Like, don't say harmful shit and you won't face the consequences of saying harmful shit, you know? And Elon took over Twitter and a lot more hate speech came out. And so much has happened since then. He just keeps throwing tantrums and just changing shit. He's now threatening to make Twitter paid for. Like, I'm not paying to use Twitter. Why would I fucking pay to use Twitter? Like, it's my main social media platform. I live on Twitter. I exist on Twitter. But I'm not fucking paying to use it. It's ridiculous. Anyway, if you're spreading misinformation, it's gonna get deleted. And also this whole idea of like, conservatives are the only ones having tweets deleted. Conservatives are the only ones having that. That's not true. That's not true. You just spew hate speech more. But everyone gets suspended. Everyone gets tweets removed, whether you're left, whether you're right, or liberal, or like not even political at all. I see fucking K-pop accounts deleted every other day. There are people suspended all the time. People have tweets removed all the time. Like, it happens everywhere to everyone. You just exist in conservative circles, so you see it happen to conservatives. It happens to everyone. Literally happens to everyone. Whether it's true information, false information, whatever. It doesn't even have to be hate speech. People get tweets deleted for much less. Like, some shit does need to be deleted, and then some shit is deleted unfairly, but typically it's not hate speech. That is deleted completely fairly.
So I don't know if liberals realize that Republicans are constantly speaking to each other in code out in public. Leave little clues for each other that only we will pick up on, so we can identify each other out in the wild. I call this the quiet code. I mean, there is a whole conservative world happening around liberals that they just actually don't pick up on. It's kind of like the Muggles in Harry Potter when they just don't notice all the magic happening around them. Like when they see people walking through brick walls and train stations. What are some examples of this quiet code? First and foremost, if a guy has moderate as his political views in a dating app, then ladies, he is a keeper because he is most likely a Republican. There are other subtle indications that you are politically simpatico. If a guy drives any kind of pickup truck, or if his love language is sending tweets, especially if his username is something like user12437, that is legacy from the pre-Elon days when we were all afraid to like anything or risk getting locked out of our accounts. If they're ever wearing anything from Orvis or Bass Pro Shop, if they have the All-In Pod or Joe Rogan as recently played in their Spotify, if they watched Yellowstone or are into grilling, if they have a sudden newfound favor of Bill Maher, like in the last 2 years, if they stop at Buc-ee's on road trips, if they have books or ever reference Jordan Peterson or David Goggins, and if they have any kind of American flag on their clothes or on their car. But that one's just a dead giveaway at this point.
This is so funny because we are aware. We know. We know all of these things and more, and we do pick up on them. And we are aware of that. You're not being very subtle. And the fact you think that we don't know this is fucking hilarious. And the fact you think that we don't do this is also funny. Like that first TikTok being like, everyone here has purple hair. And it's like, yeah, that's one of our secret languages is like dyed hair. If I have dyed hair, conservatives are less likely to approach me. This is like, it's not a political statement, but some people view it as a political statement, you know? Like I have piercings, I have tattoos, I have dyed hair. Conservative repellent. Especially conservative man repellent, you know? Like, it works. So that is one. And then, like, it doesn't even stay just within politics. I have these guys in the back of all my videos for a very specific purpose. You have K-pop stans existing in public with our fucking photocards in our phones. And if you're like into Stray Kids, if you're a stay, there's like specific shoes that you wear. You know, you go to like a K-pop event and there's like specific fashion pieces that people will wear that you can associate to a group. If I was like walking down the street and there's like a random play K-pop dance thing, I look at the shoes. First thing I do, and I'm like, that's a stay. That's a stay. Like, this happens everywhere in every section of life. If you are an enjoyer of something, you are oftentimes going to be trying to signal that to other people who are an enjoyer of something. It's why people wear merch. It's why people do specific things, you know? People have like things on their clothes or keychains or things all the time to reference to other people, their interests, in hopes of finding other people who share those interests. Especially if you go to like a concert or something where you already have a shared interest, you may have on your person something that references another interest so that you can find people with your shared interest with another shared interest. You know, queer people, we have our pins. You've got like a rainbow tote bag. You know, like there's so many signs and subtle language hints everywhere, and there always has been. It's always been that way. Acting like this is unique to you is fucking hilarious.
This Russell Brand situation is so fakaked. What they are doing with him is the modern equivalent of when they used to hang people from trees in the town square and put a sign on them that says, "Ye be warned." Except the warning is to anyone who wants to question the government, big pharma, what happened in Maui, any cultural issues. They're saying is everyone better get in line, accept common narratives, or this could happen to you. They will literally ruin your life. I'm old enough to remember when the justice system in the United States was innocent until proven guilty, but gone are the days. Because who needs that when you have trial by media? We are on the fast track to an Orwellian dystopia. You don't need actual laws telling people what they could think or what they could say when you can take away their living and socially ostracize them. And Russell Brand is only the latest example of this. I have seen so many headlines saying how we have to get it right this time and convict him before there has even been a trial. Of course, the YouTube police have totally demonetized him. And listen, these cases are very complicated. I don't presume he's innocent. I also don't presume he is guilty. But it certainly seems suspicious that allegations are coming up 10 years later, not in the stage of his life when he's on drugs, being super promiscuous, which he has spoken about at length. No, it's now that he wants to question the leftist narrative. So let's take away his money from YouTube with over 6 million subscribers. We'll just show everyone else that that's what'll happen to them too.
Okay, well, firstly, it's pretty solid that he's guilty. There's a lot of people coming forward. There's a lot of evidence, you know, like. But even that aside, okay? What good does it ever do to women or anyone coming forward to report someone publicly for assaulting them? Like, how has that ever benefited anyone ever? Because even when they're telling the truth, they get so much heat and backlash and death threats, etc., that it's almost not worth it, you know? Like, why has it taken 10 years for them to do this? A few reasons. One, it can be really hard to come to terms with the fact that something like this has happened to you. Like, it can take decades for you to finally process and admit that it's happened. It is really hard to say those words to yourself and to accept that those things have happened. It is really, really hard. And it can take a long time to acknowledge what it really was. And also, like, why is it now while he's debunking the left and questioning things and not while he's on drugs and being promiscuous? Because another thing that can trigger wanting to talk about it is seeing someone who has hurt you really, really bad receiving praise and love and admiration, that's gonna make you speak out, you know? I speak about my abuse and my abuser a lot, but I've never said his name or shared his face or anything like that because it hasn't felt, you know, there's no need for me to bring up that pain for myself. There's no need for that to happen, you know? But hypothetically speaking, if he were to suddenly like rise to a place of huge fame and success, if I were to look around me and see people admiring him and praising him, then I fucking would, you know? Like, that's gotta fucking suck so bad. And people need to know the type of person they're like supporting and praising. And like, it would suck. It would hurt. It would be triggering. It would be awful. And I cannot imagine how I would feel if that were to ever be a situation. It won't ever be, but I can't imagine how it would feel. And so Russell Brand getting to a place where people were, you know, taking him seriously and listening to him and praising him is going to make them want to speak out. If people like now are looking to him as someone who has wisdom and they should listen to him and take advice from him, they're going to speak about it. It makes sense. Don't pretend that doesn't make sense. Yeah? And like, we've got to get it right this time. We need to listen to the victims. It's like, yeah, because why would they fucking lie? You know, they now have people like you on here being like, how dare they accuse Russell Brand? There are people calling them liars. There are people who are like making fun of their trauma. And Russell Brand getting his YouTube revenue taken away from him doesn't fucking matter. That man is a millionaire. He has tens of millions of pounds. He doesn't fucking need YouTube revenue, you know? And maybe he should have thought about that before he went and assaulted people, you know? Like, having one source of revenue taken away from you when you're a multimillionaire, like, is fine. He's fine. He's fine. What consequences has he faced otherwise? Is he facing jail time? Has he lost his career? Are there people who don't support him? Because everyone I've seen who is speaking out against him are not people that watched his videos or enjoyed his content or even liked him as a person anyway, you know? We all fucking decided he was a terrible person when he divorced Katy Perry over text just before she was due on stage for a concert. Like, we all watched the movie. We all cried when that happened. We all decided that he was a terrible person and have never kind of moved on from that, you know? Like, he's done a lot of things that show his character, yeah? It's unsurprising based on who he is as a person. And also, there's no benefit, absolutely no benefit to speaking up. You wouldn't lie. Because it hasn't ruined his life. It hasn't ruined his career. Fuck all has happened. At least not yet. Nothing has happened to him. He's had his YouTube revenue taken away. Oh no. He'll have to live off his tens of millions of pounds that he already has. It's not like he can't like sell merch or do other shit. Like, there's other sources of revenue that he could be making, you know? Like, he can do that. He has people like you who will now go fund his fucking like law fund or whatever. You know? Like, you couldn't name any women who have, you know, spoken up against these men. You couldn't name any of them. Because people are like, they're doing it for attention. Name women. Not just from this case, but from previous cases of people like accusing people of sexual assault. Name those women. And then tell me how badly the perpetrators suffered. Because one of them was the president of the United States and is running again despite having faced so much legal trouble recently. Like, Chris Brown is a fucking horrible person who like beat his girlfriend nearly to fucking death, and he is still thriving, having a fantastic career. And the person who accused him, whom he hurt, is also, you know, like a celebrity. She still wasn't taken fucking seriously, since people are like, they have money, so of course, blah, blah. Like, she has money. Nothing fucking, it doesn't fucking matter, does it? No one gains anything from accusing people. They have everything to lose. Nothing to gain and everything to lose. That's why we believe victims.
So I'm pretty surprised by Trump's interview with Megyn Kelly. And that's because the man was low energy. I mean, he's usually a showman. That's how he won the 2016 election. He's a natural entertainer. He knows how to work an audience, a camera. He knows how to get those great sound bites, but not in this interview. By the way, I thought the same thing of his Tucker interview. He actually seems a little tired to me. Not like Sleepy Joe tired, but tired. I would think all the legal fires he has to put out are actually weighing on him, and it's showing. And then on top of that, he said two things that are very problematic for the conservative base. The first problem is obviously when Megyn Kelly asked him if a man can become a woman. This is one of the defining issues of the conservative movement right now. And the man waffled. And the second issue is he still does not have a good answer for how he lost the last election and it was stolen from him, but he could somehow prevent that from happening this time. As someone who is very concerned about how we can actually practically, operationally win this election, he needs to answer this, and he has not. Trump's original appeal was definitely that he was brash, seemed to just tweet out whatever was on his mind and not care. And this interview seemed like he was being careful and pussyfooting around the issues. For what it's worth, I also think Megyn Kelly struck a good balance of pushing back enough on Trump while also just leaving room for her audience to listen to him and decide for themselves. That is certainly lacking in most media today. Overall, it felt like it was missing Trump.
I'm just kind of obsessed with the fact she's here. Like, the only reason Trump won the election is because he's an entertainer. He's really entertaining. We just love listening to him talk because he's funny and he's relatable and he just tweets whatever's on his mind. He doesn't think before he acts. He just does spontaneous and impulsive things like every good president should do. He's just so entertaining. If you are voting for your president based on how entertaining they are, like, what I've learned from you here is that you choose who should be your leader based on who you find entertaining and who you want to sleep with. And those are not good reasons to be a fucking president. Those are not reasons to vote for someone. Those are terrible reasons to vote for someone. Neither of those things are important at all. You should be voting for someone whose policies you agree with, who, like, says things you care about, you know? Like, you're voting for him because he's entertaining? I don't think you should be doing that. Like, yeah, he is entertaining because he was a fucking TV personality, not a president, not a political figure. The fact that he won because he's entertaining is absolutely fucking beyond me. Absolutely just, oh my God. Anyway, I'm going to end this video here. I hope that you've enjoyed non-lib takes. What a roller coaster. My God, I cannot believe she is serious. It's absolutely beyond me. Ridiculous. But yeah, anyway, I hope you were entertained. A massive thank you to my Sprout and Above patrons whose names are up on the screen right now. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for joining. And a huge, huge thank you to my Kiwi Cat patrons. Harry, Toulouse, Bobby, Sparrow, Josh, Mandy, Robbie, Ikazel, Jessica, Eldo, Trini, Raven, Danielle, Enoli Like Cannoli, Elias, Jewel, Apollo, Taylor is Trying, Boston, and Chris. I love and appreciate you all so much. Thank you so much for joining. If anyone else would like to become a patron, you go to patreon.com/SavvyCat or click the top link in the description. For as little as £1 a month, you get my videos a day early, as well as podcasts a week early. And then for £3 and up, you get things such as bonus mini podcasts, live streams, outtakes, vlogs, and access to a special music project coming soon. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram, The Queer Kiwi, and Twitter, That Queer Kiwi. I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day. Stay safe. Keep fighting. I love you. Mwah.